No food stamps in November. So I expect every church to have a food bank. If you go to a church and they don't have a food bank, now is the time to ask why.
I'm tired of struggling all of my fucking life! Oh my god! Fuck! Can life just get fucking easy? Just for like a year, just for a little bit, you think at some point life is just supposed to be like better. You work your at every turn of your fucking life, there's another obstacle. Oh my god, please, please help us all! What the fuck is going on?
We're not feeding the babies we have. Why does the government want more? We're not feeding the babies we have. Why does the government want more? I know you're thinking, what's your statistic? Where's your proof that we're not feeding the babies we have? Oh, I don't know. Maybe it's the fact that my toddler's daycare just opened a food bank in the fucking lobby? My toddler's daycare just opened a food bank in the fucking lobby because his classmates might not be able to eat. We got the government. Who's in charge of SNAP benefits? The government that's in charge of food. The government that decides where our fucking money is gonna go is gonna give $40 billion to Argentina. They're gonna build a fucking ballroom to have big old gilded dances. They're gonna send how much fucking money for missiles? But the babies we already got, we're not gonna fucking feed. We already don't feed the babies. And the government's out here saying we're under-babied. We're not under-babied, we're underpaid. You want more babies? Fucking pay us. Give us the money to feed our fucking kids. Could you try that? Could you think that one through? Could you pull up one Excel spreadsheet that says pay the moms and dads and they'll fuck more? Who wants to fuck right now with these bills? Who wants to, huh? Who wants to nut and have it count? Right now, when any moment your fucking job can be taken by AI or because of some fucking tariff, because some psychopath from the Epstein plane decides on a willy-nilly whim that he's mad at Canada or some shit. Over and over again, I keep getting told, it's our fault. It's our fault that America's this way. Well, it's real fucking crazy. When I look at this government, with how much fucking money they make and how many fucking vacations they get to use, tell me how we don't get paid family leave. Tell me how the minimum wage at $7.25 just makes just enough sense. Have Dr. Oz of all fucking people stand next to RFK Jr. telling us that we're under-babied and we need to do work. Fuck you. Do your job.
Like, maybe we should be wiped off the face of the earth, white people.
Despite being a black person, I actually had a very similar experience to this creator. She's talking about how she learned more and more about slavery and began to feel horrified with her fellow white counterparts. My story is, I was raised in all white spaces. So I went to a white Christian private school. I went to a majority white high school. I just was in white spaces all the time. When I went to college and took my first world history lesson that actually taught about slavery and the genocide of the natives and all these other things that I had no idea about, I was in complete shock. And there's a lot to be said about parents, no offense to my parents, but there's a lot to be said about parents who allow their black kids to be raised in these all white spaces that shield them from the actual realities of the world. Leaving that class and then taking other Africana studies, narratives of slavery, things of that nature, I was horrified and frankly just avoided white people for a couple of years. I genuinely just couldn't deal with them. I was so in shock based on what I had learned. And so I'm making this video to ask if anyone else has had that experience where you were raised really sheltered or in white spaces and you just kind of didn't know about the actual horrors of what happened in America, and then to black people, that is. And then as an adult or a teenager, you find out and you're like, what the and you just have this crazy like feeling about white people for a while, or is that just me? Mind you, I'm also Caribbean, and not that we weren't enslaved, but I just think that in Black American households, perhaps there's just more emphasis on that type of history than in Jamaican and Caribbean households. Correct me if I'm wrong, but they just didn't, my parents just weren't talking about anything like that. I think that Jamaicans can sometimes try to align themselves with whiteness. Caribbean people giving you a name like Brittany, you know, and things of that nature to try to align you with that, because they see that as like their way out, essentially. Again, different convo, but back to the point. Has anybody else had that same shock and realization that like, holy crap, like I really didn't know anything about Black history, and it's actually quite atrocious.
Guys, today we are witnessing a historic shift in America. White America is suddenly facing storms, economic, social, political, that black people have survived for generations. And today, they are in distress, shocked, and confusion because they are drowning in struggles they once ignored. The struggles that they believed belongs to the black people. But today, the story is changing, man. The story is changing and the power is shifting. So guys, let's watch some clips here, then I'll be back with my commentary. And of course, if you're watching us for the first time, please subscribe and leave us a comment in the comment section and let us know what you think about this clip. Let's dive.
So white people will never leave black people alone, and I'm gonna tell you why. White society's obsession with black people isn't new, it's centuries old. If you think about slavery, colonialism, and exploitation, from the start, white wealth in America was built off the backs of black bodies. Sugar, cotton, tobacco, rice. This wasn't just economics, it was a system where white people's very identity was shaped around controlling and owning and watching black bodies. But here's the wild contradiction in all of this, right? While trying to dehumanize us, white culture has always been obsessed with us, right? They copied our music, our style, our language, our food, even our rhythm, all while denying us basic rights. Think about jazz and rock and hip hop and fashion, all born out of black genius, only to be taken, watered down, and sold back to the world with a white face on it. So why can't they just stay away? Because in a system that is built both on exploitation and envy, distance is impossible. White supremacy depends on keeping black people in place, close enough to use, control, or imitate, but never free enough to threaten the hierarchy. It's a sick paradox, fear and fascination at the same damn time. On a psychological level, it's projection. White folks will project their guilt, their fear, and their insecurities onto blackness, and then turn around and crave the very life, culture, and resilience they tried to destroy. It's like they want the sauce, but not the struggle. Now, to be real, not every white person acts like this, but the system, the way whiteness has defined itself against blackness, makes it so this obsession keeps resurfacing. Whether it's over policing or culture appropriation or trying to legislate our lives, it always comes back to the old need to dominate mixed with a quiet desire to be what they can't.
Now, the same system that oppressed black people for centuries are now collapsing on everyone. But white America is feeling it for the first time. White America is now crying for skyrocketing rent, food prices, and loans. And black Americans, they say that we've been here before. And welcome to the struggle.
My fellow white people in this country are so embarrassingly weak and pathetic. Can you imagine if we, white Americans, had to overcome slavery and oppression and systemic racism? No, all we have to deal with right now is an absolute criminal, dementia-ridden con man in the White House saying, you're not going to get elections anymore. We're like, oh no, we're not going to get elections anymore. It's all over. We're doomed. Grow a freaking pair. Good Lord. And that is not to say what is happening right now is not serious or that we shouldn't be worried or that we shouldn't be reacting. But this absolute prostrating yourself on the ground, it's over, there's nothing we can do about it nonsense from my fellow white people. Grow up. Sorry, I'm super wound up and annoyed this morning because it is so freaking embarrassing. Grow up, literally. Stop being so weak and wimpy. I worked at a polling place all day on the last election, November 2024, and I was working in an area that had a history of problems, like people not being allowed to vote, etc. And there were so many stories that day that gave me so much hope, and I was so hopeful for the outcome to come out a different way than it did. But one of the things that continues to stick in my mind, there was a very elderly black man, probably in his 90s, with a walker, struggling to get into the building to vote. I was a nonpartisan legal advocate outside. I wasn't allowed to go inside, but I did know that they had people there inside that could come out to the car, to the curb for people who were disabled, so they didn't have to physically go in. So I told him, sir, you don't have to go in. I can get someone for you. They can come out and bring it to your car. And he said, no, I was made to pay a poll tax. I was prevented from voting. I have the right to vote now. I'm going to do it. Can we please channel the energy of that amazing man and stop being freaking wusses? Come on.
It is shocking that their companies are shutting down in rural America. And those same job insecurity, black communities have been living with for decades. White Americans are shocked because they are losing their homes. But black people are saying that they were redlined out of home ownership for generations. So to them, it's not a new thing, because they have been living with that redlining for so many years. So it's the first time that white people are experiencing this. It is shocking that white Americans can also say the words like the government is unfair to them and also against them. And remember, they are the same people that gave this government a lot of votes. They voted for this government in order to punish the black people, not knowing that the government that they voted for is a government for the billionaires. They took part in electing this government, putting this government in position, giving it a base to stand strong. Even though black people want them not to vote for this government, they went ahead because they thought that they are punishing the black people from accessing job opportunities, because they were saying that black people are enjoying too much. So today, they're feeling the pinch of their own arrogance, of their own assumption, and of their own choice. White America are now afraid of the government outreach. But black Americans have faced this fear since the first police badges. The political chaos that they supported is now turning on them. The same leaders they empowered, the same leaders that they gave their vote, the same leaders that they fought for, the same leaders that they waved flag for are now attacking their rights too.
Can someone please explain to me why conservative white men feel they are under attack in the United States? Because the last time I checked, every single U.S. president has been a man. Only one of those men has been a man of color. White men have never been enslaved in this country. White men have never been denied their right to vote in this country, nor has that ever been on the fucking table. Just because people want the same rights that you've always had doesn't mean that you're the victim.
No one is special in front of power. Power only wants control. No one is special, no black, no white, no red, no pink. Power only wants control. And control is final for power. For the first time, white Americans are losing their privilege, which is so shocking. You know, no guaranteed for jobs, safety nets, or even automatic benefits. Today, they are struggling just the same way black Americans were struggling for these things. They are struggling to make ends meet just the same way black Americans have been doing for all those years. They are crying about being ignored by their government, being unheard and mistreated by their same government. And the same things black voices have been saying for over 400 years is now hitting them hard. You cannot run away from karma. Karma does not forget. Karma will always come back in another way, you know, and karma is here. I don't know whether to say that our ancestors are fighting for us. I don't know, you know, I don't know whether to say that our ancestors are fighting for us, but let me say this, that karma does not always miss a meal. It must get its share. So today, white Americans are experiencing what black people have lived in for all those years, for over 400 years.
I believe we had to be adults in the most unaffordable time in history. Like what luck is that? You know, every other generation got starter homes. We got starter packs for depression. Our parents were buying houses for the price of what we pay in rent now. Meanwhile, we're out here financing phones like they're real estate. Groceries, forget it. I walk into the store with $100 and leave with 2 bags of sadness and milk. You know, eggs cost more than my car insurance. Avocados are basically an investment property. So and don't even talk to me about rent. Rent is just a cover charge for existing. Like you're paying over $2,000 a month for the privilege of living in a box with suspicious plumbing. You know, utilities out of control, internet, forget it. You know, health insurance. This is an extortion racket. I mean, you can't even get sick, but being alive is already too expensive. Yeah. So yeah, we really got dealt the worst hand. I mean, we were told work hard and you'll have stability. Nah, we worked hard and we got, you know, Spotify Premium, you know, 3 streaming services and trauma. So, you know, other generations got the American dream. We got the American receipt.
What the fuck are we doing, man? Is this how good it's supposed to be? Is this how our lives are supposed to turn out? If you go to college, you got debt until you're 50. If you don't go to college, you don't make enough money. People are fucking tired, man. I was talking to a friend. He's like, I don't even care about getting a paycheck anymore because it's like a slap in the face. You get your fucking paycheck and it's gone the same day, usually gone within an hour. And the minute you pay the bills, but they're already late, then you get an email saying your other bill's ready to be viewed. I couldn't afford the first bill. Now electric's gonna go up, interest rates are going up, energy's going up. Most people don't even want to fucking be here anymore. You wonder why people go to the doctor for mental health problems. You wonder why people are breaking down. Why people go to work and snap, flip out, start screaming at their bosses, and get fired. Why? Because people are at the end of the rope and they can't fucking take it anymore. How much more can you take? What are we gonna do about it? Is this just the way it is? I don't want to live like this anymore. I don't think anybody fucking does. But does anybody have a solution? Is there anything we can do to change this? That's the hard part. No matter how much you work, it ain't a fucking enough. The problem is, and I thought about this today, we don't make enough money. There's not enough money to pay everything and have a penny left over. You're always fucking negative. And what are we gonna do about it? I need somebody to tell me because I don't know anymore.
Why are we even paying for health insurance? I go to the dentist and I'm getting 4 quarters done of teeth cleaning, $1,600. I'm like, great, I have insurance. Blue Cross Blue Shield, the best. I give them all the insurance information. They're like, well, you're gonna have to go ahead and pay for it and then insurance will reimburse you for a portion of it. I'm like, how much? What portion? Well, we'll just have to submit everything to the insurance company and, you know, see what they're gonna reimburse you. We don't know. $1,600 fucking dollars. You know how much the insurance company gave me back? $200. $1,400. I'm paying $300-400 a week for a family insurance plan. What the fuck is going on with health insurance, guys? The deductibles are ridiculous. I honest to God think it would have been cheaper if I just told them I don't have any insurance at all. Can someone please tell me what the hell is going on with health insurance in America? Like, this is getting out of hand. Love ya.
Watch this.
If you still think Donald Trump is a good president, then I'm going to be honest with you. You are either completely uneducated, willfully ignorant, or a racist bigot, or you've got some serious mental issues going on. And this isn't just opinion anymore. This is documented reality. That man has done more damage to the working class than most people even realize. While he waves his flags and talks tough, he's been gutting your rights, your wages, and the protections behind closed doors. He stripped away overtime protections from millions of workers. He gave your bosses the legal right to steal your tips. He sabotaged the labor board that once defended you and handed that power over to billionaires and corporations.
Black privilege is something that we don't talk about often enough. Here I am in the middle of San Francisco in front of Grace Cathedral, about to go into an event with my sorority sisters and stopping to take in a moment and feel all the gratitude. All the gratitude for my sorority, all the gratitude for my wonderful experience at my HBCU Spelman College, which afforded me the privilege to go to Harvard Business School. It doesn't come without pain and sacrifice and work and, hey, lots of mistakes. And I don't think that all of you hear this kind of story from us often enough, because there are those of us out here who are working hard and earning it and really, really grateful.
Do you know how absurd it is that we have property taxes and vehicle registration every year? I want to set a scenario for you real quick, just to see how this feels. Imagine you want a brand new laptop and you go to Best Buy and you spend $1,500 cash and you buy this laptop. And you go home and you open up the laptop that you own, that you worked for and you bought and you owned and paid taxes on, and you own it. And the next day you get a letter in the mail from the IRS, and the IRS goes, hey, we saw you bought a $1,500 laptop. You owe us $10 a month in perpetuity. And if you don't pay the $10 a month, we're going to take your laptop. So you're basically just renting it from us. What if you rented an apartment and bought a $1,000 sectional couch, and you're so excited and you're sitting on that couch and there's a knock at the door and it's an IRS agent going, hey, we saw you bought a $1,000 couch. You owe us $5 a month in perpetuity. And if you don't pay the $5, we're going to take your fucking couch. That's what they do with housing. That's what they do with our vehicle. You can work 30 years, pay off your fucking house. It's worth $400,000 and you have to pay $500 a month in perpetuity, and the $500 goes up every couple of years. And if you don't pay it, they can take your fucking house. With our car, we register it, get our license, we pay tax, which I agree with, but then every year we need to renew our tags. And if you don't renew your tags and spend $150 a year, you can get pulled over, potentially lose your license, and be fined. We don't even own our vehicle. We don't even own our houses. These are the most intrusive taxes. It's the freedom part for me that pisses me off. I was just thinking about that. I go, how bizarre would that be? With everything we bought, if we had to pay $1 or $10 or $30 a month, and if we didn't pay the government, they'd come and take our property. But yet we allow that with housing and cars.
White people are the problem. They are the problem. White people ain't White people killed Charlie Kirk. White people enslaved nations of people. White people ruined this country. White people, not black people. Black people built this country from the ground up. White people came and ruined it. The Italian mob, the Russian mob, the Irish mob. America was divided before I came and talked to you. Let me ask you. You were sitting here with people who disagree with Trump and you agree with Trump. Yeah. That's division. Freedom of speech. That's division. I didn't divide you. No, you're saying black and white are different. What's the difference? So what's the difference between me saying that and what's his name? Stephen Johnson saying the Democrats are the problem. Is Stephen Johnson not dividing the country politically? 100%. Is Donald Trump not dividing the country politically? 100%. Is his office not dividing the country politically? 100%. So white people are the problem. Not some black man that's sitting out here asking interviews. I'm not dividing the country. White people are dividing the country. Hold on. And to that point, when was America ever united? Hold on. When was America? We haven't been. That's the fucking problem. Whoever. Hold on. Who caused that? Hold on. Who caused that? Fucking white people. So what should happen to white people for dividing the country?
Think about this. If you have 13 million undocumented immigrants or illegal aliens, if that's what you want to call them, those 13 million people leave. That's 13 million people that are not buying products, that are not going to our groceries, that are not going to our restaurants, buying our gas, that are not paying rent here in our country, that are not buying clothing, they're not shopping at Walmart, they're not shopping, they're gone. So what then happens to American jobs? If you lose 13 million consumers like that, then there's going to be layoffs. Then these businesses are all going to be affected because their revenues go down. If these people are paying $66 billion just in taxes, to our states and our federal government, what do you think they're consuming? Those taxes are a tiny percentage of what their actual spend in this country is. Though it may be less than 10% of what their spend is, which could put their spend, I'm making this up, I have no idea, their spend could be $600 billion that just marches out of the country. No, that is kicked out of the country aggressively and rudely. We don't benefit from.
And the good thing is that my black Americans are just watching the meltdown. You know, they're just comfortably watching the drama. They're not celebrating, they're not crying, just observing as they make notes. And our black elders are saying that these storms are not new. This is your first rain because we've survived hurricanes of this. But to you, this is your first time. This is your first time experiencing these hurricanes. But black people have experienced these hurricanes for years. They have lived with these hurricanes for years. You know, what Americans are not used to these struggles. because they normally get what they want at any time they want it. The privilege works for them. So even a small storm feels like a disaster to them, feels like they are losing it, feels like they have been abandoned, feels like they are not being heard. But the truth is, black people have lived with this struggle for decades. Black people, black Americans, have survived these hurricanes for decades. Now, it is good that this crisis that are there in America is hitting all over, everyone in America, whether black or white, not just minorities. It is hitting everyone. Whether you voted MAGA or not, you are living with high prices, high rent. But the good thing with my black people is that they had lived in this for over 400 years. So it's not new to them. That's why they are not complaining too much the way white folks are complaining. They have lived in this for many years. You know? So the system of privilege is falling. But can you say that the system is failing its own creators? What do you say, guys? Has the system forgotten its own manufacturers? Because it is treating its own creators just the same way it is treating, or it has been treating, the oppressed or the marginalized. You know what? The myth of white America immunity is gone, you know, and they must now fight to survive in a system that was built for them to rise, a system that was built for them to make it, a system that was built to give them everything. They are now learning to survive in the same system that was made for them. The same system is collapsing. So the truth is, white America is drowning in storms black people endured for centuries. But while they panic, black communities remain strong. They are strong because survival, resilience, and endurance are part of the black history. So they don't look at it as a new thing. The real question is now that, will white America finally understand the struggle, or will they just keep streaming in shock? Talk to me in the comment section, guys. What do you think about that? See you next in my next episode, guys. And of course, this is your guy, Fred from the motherland. I love you so much, my good people.